Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Osireme here. If today is your first time on here, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to become a member. In this video, I'm going to be making a reversible hair bonnet with this plain fabric here, this African print fabric here. I'm going to be making use of this elastic band as well. I'm making use of my scissors, and also I will be needing my chalk to mark out my pattern. First thing here, I'm going to measure out a square piece of fabric, as you see me doing like this. So this is the piece I have that I'm going to use. This square I have here is 22 inches on both sides, and it actually depends on who you are making the hair bonnet for. If you're making it for a child, I would advise that you have a square of about 16 to 18 inches. Then if you're making for an adult, a square of around 20 to all the way to 28 inches. So for me, my head is a very small one, so I have a square of 22 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do, as you can see me doing like this, is to fold this piece of fabric into 4, as you can see like this. And what I'm going to do is to ensure that I'm taking it from the right place, not from this part that is into 4 places here like this, not from here. You're going to actually take this part here as the point where you start marking out your circle. So if you have an idea of how to cut out a 360-degree flare, you actually make use of that same idea here. So what I did is to just take the measurement of the point down to the end of the fabric, and that gave me 11 inches. So I'm just going to measure out 11 inches all the way to the end of the other piece of fabric. So this is what I have. I'm just going to cut along these white marks I made. So guys, this is it. I'm just going to open it up now for you guys to see. So this is my circle. This is what I'm going to be using for this hair bonnet. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to place this on the other piece of fabric that I have, and I'm just going to trace it out. So guys, this is it. This is the other piece. This is the black piece, and this is the print pattern here. So this is what we are going to start working with. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to turn the right sides of this fabric to face each other like this. And what I'm going to do is to actually take this, make sure that it aligns very well, make sure it's exactly in the same point. Don't let any part be bigger than the other. Try as much as possible to make sure it's actually equally staying in the same position. So when you are done with that, what I'm going to do is to take this all to my sewing machine. I'm going to stitch it with about ½ an inch all the way around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be leaving about ½ an inch. These marks I'm making here, I'm not going to sew this part here, so I'm going to sew around, leaving this space here. So guys, this is it. This is what I was saying. I've sewn all the way around, and like I said, I left this little space I was talking about here. This is where I'm going to turn this fabric to the right side through. So what I'm going to do now is to turn this to the right side through that little hole I left while I was sewing. If you are in a place where you are going to be able to iron out, I would advise that you iron out when you get to this position. Right now, because of some circumstances, I wasn't able to iron this out. So what I'm going to do now is to go to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch this all the way around again for the second time. This time I'm going to stitch it with about 1 inch, and this time around I'm not going to be leaving any space, so I'm just going to sew it all the way around. So this is what I have done now. I've done it, and this is what it looks like. And remember this initial hole I left in the beginning, that is where I'm going to use now to place my elastic band. So this second stitch I did around actually just helped me to create a casing for my elastic. So I measured round my head. My head circumference was 22 inches. I removed 2 inches away from that, and I cut out my elastic band with 20 inches. So I'm just going to place this into this fabric here through the hole we created in the beginning of this tutorial, and I'm just going to do it all the way to the end. When you're placing your elastic band, guys, you have to always be careful so that it doesn't just go through all the way. So you have to be very careful, ensure that there is a piece of the elastic hanging outside while you are putting in the other part into the fabric. So guys, I'm just going to tie it up here, and in this particular place you can decide to take it to your sewing machine and stitch it down. There is no problem if you decide to stitch it down. If you decide to tie it up, it's actually still going to end up the same thing. For mine, I decided to tie it up, and I'm just going to cut off the excess elastic, so after that, what I'm going to do now is just to spread it out, and this is what it looks like. So I'm actually finding it hard to actually see the place where I created that hole, because the hole was not very big, so it has somehow hidden itself inside. Found it. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and what I'm going to do is to fold it in like this. Ensure that it's folded in. I'm going to stitch it down here. So I've stitched it down, and that is basically all for this tutorial. This is how the hair bonnet looks like. It's very easy. This is a very easy tutorial, and this is the back. So if you don't want to wear the parts with the African print, you can turn it to the back and wear the parts showing just the black piece of fabric. So that's all for this tutorial, guys. I appreciate you for watching. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. If this is your first time here, you've not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.